What's going on, lunatics? What we said was going to happen is happening. What we said was going to happen is happening. And what we said was going to happen, well, that's happening too. It's not financial advice, but I'm always right.
Everybody listen up. Let's get it. I'm trying to put money in your pocket. That crypto wallet. That bing bada bing ching ching big profit. Even when the market's sideways, I'm looking for ways to get paid.
There were a lot of what's going to happen, happens, blah, 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 blah. I was just kidding about all that. Listen, if you like the content at the end of this, subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, hit the bell to be notified of new content, and leave a comment down below. If you think that I don't know what I'm talking about, hey, let me know that too, and hit the dislike button. It works the same way. But let's go look at what we were talking about. What we were talking about yesterday when we were going over this was this little circle right here. I was telling you there was this kind of a choppiness to the whole thing, and that this was kind of like a foundation that maybe we would spring off. We would start our path up this way. Well, let's move this out of the way and look at what's happening right now. It is actually moving in that direction. And we just got notification of the Binance burn. So we do have some information on that burn right now. Now, the other part of this is you've seen some weakening dynamically in the market over the last couple of hours. Even though you saw the UK 100 move, you saw the stock 600 move, you saw a massive capitulation in the Chinese market in the overnight. It was down almost 2%. So that goes along with some of the American markets, which, by the way, if you look at the Dow Jones, it looks like it might be in the green for today, and it might be preparing for a little bit of a run. If that does run, then you might see a run on Bitcoin and Ethereum and a little bit of money start to enter the market. There is a massive thirst right now for riskier assets that'll start coming back into this market as long as we get a little bit of stability and we start getting a little bit of the positive things that we've been looking for out of the market to start happening. Now, that's stock lingo for people wanting. Look, there's a thirst right now for risk. There's a thirst right now for people to make a little bit of money, and they will start taking chances again. But one of the most important things is over the last 7 days, Bitcoin has been the least risky asset in all of the market. The stock market's been up and down. The NASDAQ's been up and down. The SPY's been moving around. The stock 600, the UK 100, the Korean index, the Shanghai index, everything has been incredibly volatile. But you know what hasn't been volatile and has been faithful? Bitcoin. So that would mean there's a lot of people looking at it to speculate that maybe now is the time to get into Bitcoin, and that will always end in a positive. And as we see billions of dollars start entering the market over maybe the next few hours, it might be the start of something good. Now, moving on to station over here, you can see I have not changed my stake at all. I'm still holding on to the 77,000. I'll probably withdraw the rewards and then restake that with Vegas Morph to continue to help out there. And, we'll see how everything goes. Now, moving on to the Binance burn. Top burn wallet was just updated here to 8.6 billion, which means that there was a big move. So that big move right here was the burn by Binance for the amount of 2,992,563,505. And for most people, I am fairly sure that this is not the one that you are looking for. And you can see here some influencer getting in on the mix, Matthew Perry. If you haven't followed him, if you haven't watched his videos, you probably check those out. Good guy. Donated 97,000 to the burn. Matthew, if you ever watch this, stop making me look bad, man. But you can see right here, there's a CEO burn, all-star stakers and rewards. There's a lot of people that are doing a lot of burns. If you ever want to look, you can just walk over here. You're not really walking, it's the internet, but you can just walk over here and you can see any donations or any community burns, anything that's being done. And you can see like there's a little note over here about what it is that's being burned. So that brings the total number of burns. The Burn a Lot initiative. Look, we're talking about 12, 15, 16, 17, about 17 billion being burned right now. And the question is that enough? And the answer is obviously that's not even close to enough. When we start to see how this thing is playing out, here's what we found out. We found out that Binance doesn't have our back the way that we wanted, but they did do something to accommodate it. The 1.2% burn tax is not being initiated by anybody, but guess what? Zeradar and Ed have both created V23, which will accelerate the burn rate because it will increase, or it will allow Terra and Luna swapping with no cap, plus Terra to Luna swapping with a 10 billion hard cap, which will allow you to trade on Terra Station. And that will increase some of the burn if that's what you're looking to do. Creates an opportunity for a little bit more burn, which is a good thing. Now, that being the case, let's look over here and we can see that the volume is $480 million. That's up 85% over the course of the last 24 hours. That was the anticipation, I believe, of that Binance burn to see, and we saw 3 billion being burned. Now, it stands to reason that if we do 3 billion burn per week, or we do 1.6 billion per day, it's going to be a lot of days before we see any appreciable amount. But here's what we did see, and what came through one more time that we have to go over just one last time, and that is this new proposal that Zeradar put up. And the biggest thing about this proposal that people have it's being adopted. A lot of people are looking at it. A lot of people are having a good feeling about it. But we need to talk about, of course, the debt mountain, which they do kind of reference in here. To further compound the problem by applying quantitative easing strategy, we have our 10 billion debt mountain waiting to tear down any bull run with an avalanche of speculative mercenary capital. And that 10 billion debt mountain, that is the USTC. There's currently 10 billion minted USTC, which means that there is a debt ratio right now of 10 billion. So what they're trying to do is they're trying to, as best they can, overcome all of these problems. And what they're using is a partitioning system in which you can, as a dApp creator, you can create your own partition pool, and you can create your own tokenized commodity token asset that you would then use, that would be bought and sold through the system by Luna Classic, but it would be whatever token that you would like to have in your little partition pool. And I think that this sounds like a pretty good idea, because it's really given businesses their own little area in which they can operate and in which they can function. So it's so far, I think that I don't think it's a perfect proposal. I think that I think it's the best proposal so far for the long-term needs of the community. And when we're talking about this community is all about teamwork. It's all about creating burns, usage, et cetera, et cetera. We want utility in order to further what is going on in this ecosystem, and that's what we got to have. So let's move on real quick. Utility is the most important part. The most important function of any blockchain is that it be used for something, and that the dApps, that the proposals, that the smart contracts that are on it are used to create real world value, to create sentiment and positivity for investors and give them a reason to invest. And we haven't really seen that happen yet. We've got some NFTs coming up. Those NFTs will be stakeable. They will allow for generated revenue to continue for you as long as you're a holder. But these are minor things. What we need is utilities on these blockchains. That includes reasons for people to invest in a product. A product should create wealth. And if you don't have a product that will create wealth and it's real world use, if you don't have that, then you don't have a long-term position. Now, it doesn't have to be, when I say the real world, I'm not saying that it has to exist inside a real world, that I can touch it or I can tangibly use it, but it has to exist and it has to do something to function. So as we move forward in this, we're going to be looking at utilities, we're going to be looking at use cases, we're going to be looking at reasons for each one of these new tokens or these new dApps that are coming along the way, and they will be coming, to have some kind of function on this blockchain to make this better. And while we're at it, it'd be nice if you burn some tokens while you're at it. This is not financial advice. My name is Bleav. I am always right. Again, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the bell to be notified, and leave a comment down below. Very important as well. Thank you for your time. We will talk to you again very soon.
I'm trying to put money in your pocket, that crypto wallet, that bing bada bing ching ching big profit. Even when the market's sideways, I'm looking for ways to get